From the earliest moments of your life, you have faced challenges that seemed unrelenting. While others moved through life with ease, you battled hardships that felt designed to break you. You may have asked yourself, why me? Why has suffering followed me since childhood? Why have I felt like an outsider, struggling against forces I couldn't even see? But what if I told you that these battles were not random, that your struggles were not in vain, that every tear, every wound, and every betrayal were clear signs that you are one of God's chosen ones? The enemy has tried to destroy you because even as a child, your purpose and potential were visible to the spiritual realm. Darkness recognized the light in you before you even understood its power. That's why you have faced opposition from a young age, because your destiny is too great for the enemy to ignore. But here's the truth. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. And God has a promise for you. He will repay you double for your pain. Let's go deeper into what it means to be chosen, why the enemy has fought so hard against you, and how God is about to turn your suffering into a glorious testimony. From the very beginning, your life was set apart. Even as a child, you sensed that you were different. While other children seemed carefree, you carried a depth of awareness beyond your years. Maybe you felt things more intensely, picking up on emotions and energies that others overlooked. Perhaps you had an unshakable longing for something greater, an inner knowing that your life held a deeper meaning. But with this awareness came challenges, feelings of isolation, being misunderstood, or even burdened by emotions that seemed too heavy for someone so young. What you didn't realize at the time was that these weren't just personality traits. They were spiritual markers, signs that you were chosen by God for a divine purpose. The forces of darkness saw your anointing before you did. Before you could even comprehend the power within you, the enemy recognized it and sought to extinguish it. This is not a new strategy. Throughout history, the adversary has always tried to destroy those destined for greatness before they could step into their calling. Pharaoh, fearing the rise of a deliverer, ordered the mass killing of Hebrew baby boys, hoping to prevent Moses from fulfilling his mission. Centuries later, King Herod, sensing a divine disruption to his rule, sought to eliminate the infant Jesus before he could change the world. In the same way, the enemy has been targeting you from the moment you entered this world. What many people fail to understand is that the greater the calling, the greater the warfare. If your life has been marked by relentless trials from a young age, it is not a sign of abandonment. It is evidence of your heavenly assignment. The enemy does not waste time attacking those who pose no threat to his kingdom. He only wages war against those who carry the potential to disrupt darkness and bring light to the world. That is why your journey has been so difficult. Every hardship, every moment of rejection, every painful experience was an attempt to shake your foundation before you could realize your power. The goal of the enemy was clear: to make you bitter instead of better, to fill you with hopelessness instead of strength, to break you before you could rise into victory. But here's the truth: you survived. Through every setback, every loss, every battle meant to destroy you, you kept going. The fact that you are still standing today is undeniable proof that the enemy failed. No matter how many times you were knocked down, you got back up. No matter how many voices told you that you weren't enough, you pressed forward. And because you refused to be defeated, you are now stronger, wiser, and closer than ever to stepping into the fullness of your God-ordained purpose. What the enemy meant for harm, God is turning into your testimony. Every tear, every sleepless night, and every painful experience is about to be redeemed for a greater purpose. Because when God marks you, no force in hell can erase your destiny. Throughout life, certain signs reveal that a person has been set apart for a divine purpose. These signs may not always be immediately understood, but they serve as God's confirmation that His hand is upon you. Many of God's chosen ones experience recurring patterns, unusual experiences, or spiritual encounters that indicate they are walking a unique path. These are not mere coincidences, but rather evidence of a greater calling. One of the most profound ways God communicates with his chosen people is through dreams and visions. In Scripture, Joseph received prophetic dreams that foretold his destiny long before it became a reality. Similarly, many who are called by God experience vivid dreams, some revealing future events, others providing divine warnings or spiritual insight. These dreams are often persistent, carrying a sense of urgency or significance that lingers long after waking. They are meant to prepare, guide, and encourage those who have been marked for a higher purpose. Another unmistakable sign of being chosen is the constant feeling of being different. Many of God's anointed ones struggle to fit in, no matter how much they try. There is often a sense of detachment, as if they do not belong to the world around them. While others may be content with an ordinary life, something within them yearns for more. They feel drawn to deeper spiritual truths, often questioning life in ways that others do not. This sense of being an outsider is not a burden. Rather, it is an indication that they were never meant to conform to the world's standards. Spiritual warfare is another defining characteristic of the chosen. The attacks on their lives are relentless, manifesting in various ways: childhood trauma, betrayals, unexpected losses, or prolonged struggles. The enemy does not waste time fighting those who pose no threat. But those who are chosen face opposition from an early age because their destiny is too significant to be ignored. Like David, who was hunted by Saul before becoming king, or Moses, who was nearly killed as an infant, the battle is often fiercest against those who are called to do great things for God. Divine encounters also serve as powerful reminders of a person's spiritual path. Throughout Scripture, God has used animals, nature, and supernatural signs to communicate his presence. Just as a dove descended upon Jesus during his baptism, certain signs may appear at crucial moments in the lives of the chosen. For some, encounters with eagles, hawks, or other symbolic creatures seem to occur in times of deep reflection or struggle. These moments are divine messages, encouraging them to rise above earthly limitations and embrace their calling. Beyond these external signs, there is an internal force that refuses to be extinguished, a deep sense of purpose. Even in the darkest moments, something within keeps pushing forward, refusing to give up. No matter how many setbacks arise, no matter how intense the struggles become, there is a knowing that they were made for something greater. This inner resilience is evidence of God's hand at work, strengthening and preparing them for the mission ahead. None of these experiences happen by accident. They are divine confirmations, whispers from heaven, reminding the chosen that they are set apart for something extraordinary. One of the most painful and difficult lessons in life is realizing that the greatest attacks often come from those closest to us. The enemy rarely strikes from a distance. Instead, he works through people who are trusted, loved, and depended on. These betrayals cut the deepest because they come from the very ones who were supposed to protect, support, and uplift. But beneath the pain, there is a greater truth. It was never about them. It was always about your calling. Throughout Scripture, some of God's most powerful servants faced opposition from their own families, friends, and inner circles. Joseph's brothers were jealous of his anointing, despising the favor he had with God and their father. Their envy led them to sell him into slavery, hoping to erase his destiny. Yet, what they meant for harm, God turned into a divine setup, positioning Joseph for greatness and placing him in a role where he would one day save the very brothers who betrayed him. Similarly, David was overlooked by his own family. When the prophet Samuel arrived to anoint the next king of Israel, David's father did not even consider him worthy enough to be presented. But while man failed to see his potential, God saw his anointing. Despite being ignored, David was still chosen. His time of rejection became a period of preparation, shaping him into the mighty king he was destined to be. Even Jesus, the Son of God, experienced betrayal from someone within his inner circle. Judas, one of his 12 disciples, walked with him, witnessed his miracles, and heard his teachings, yet still chose to betray him for 30 pieces of silver. This ultimate act of treachery was not just an attack on Jesus as a man, but on the mission he came to fulfill. If rejection, betrayal, or emotional wounds from those closest to you have been a recurring theme in your life, it is not by accident. The enemy uses these experiences to create bitterness, distrust, and isolation, hoping to break your spirit before you step fully into your purpose. He wants you to believe that no one can be trusted, that love is dangerous, and that you are better off alone. But God is using these very wounds to strengthen, refine, and elevate you. What the enemy intended to destroy you is the very thing God is using to build you. Every painful experience has been part of your preparation, teaching you to rely not on people, but on Him. Your destiny is not in the hands of those who walked away, betrayed, or abandoned you. It is in the hands of God, who is preparing a table before you in the presence of your enemies. The rejection you endured was never a sign of your unworthiness. It was a sign that you were chosen for something greater. Fire has a way of revealing what is truly valuable. In Scripture, gold is refined in fire, not to destroy it, but to purify it, to remove impurities and make it stronger, more radiant, and more precious. In the same way, the trials and hardships endured in life are not punishments, but divine refinements. Each challenge has served as a tool in God's hands, shaping and strengthening you into the warrior He created you to be. No great calling comes without testing. Before stepping into their divine assignments, many of God's chosen ones faced seasons of immense difficulty. Moses, destined to lead Israel to freedom, was first tested in the wilderness. He spent years in exile, tending sheep in isolation before God called him to confront Pharaoh. His season of obscurity was not a delay, it was preparation. The fire of solitude and hardship forged him into a leader capable of guiding an entire nation to deliverance. Similarly, Job endured unimaginable loss. Everything was taken from him, his wealth, his health, his family, until he was left with nothing but his faith. In the midst of his suffering, he remained steadfast, refusing to curse God. When his season of testing was complete, God restored him with double of what he had lost. What seemed like destruction was actually a setup for greater blessing. Trials are never easy, but they are necessary. They strip away weaknesses, build endurance, and refine character. When the enemy tried to break you, God used the very same fire to make you stronger. Every heartbreak, every rejection, and every battle have not weakened you, they have transformed you. The struggles faced were never meant to end your story. They were designed to prepare you for the next chapter. God does not allow suffering without purpose. What felt like the end was actually the beginning of your testimony. The same fire that was meant to consume you has only purified and elevated you. You are coming out stronger, wiser, and more powerful than before. Pain is never wasted in God's hands. Every tear, every moment of suffering, and every loss has been seen by the one who promises to restore far beyond what was taken. His word is clear. He is a God of restoration. What was stolen will be returned, and what was broken will be made whole again. The wounds you carry will not remain as scars of sorrow, but will be transformed into testimonies of God's faithfulness. The enemy may have stolen your peace, but God will replace it with overflowing joy. He will not only mend what was broken, but will bless you beyond what you ever imagined. Instead of your shame, you will receive a double portion. and instead of disgrace, you will rejoice in your inheritance. The things that once made you feel unworthy will become the very areas where God lifts you up and blesses you. What was lost in the past will be fully restored. I will restore to you the years that the locusts have eaten, the seasons of struggle, the years of heartbreak, and the time that felt wasted will not be for nothing. God does not simply return what was lost, He multiplies it. The enemy tried to fill you with hopelessness, but God is filling you with renewed strength. What was meant to weaken you is now making you unstoppable. The burden of the past will no longer define your future. The weight you carried will be lifted, and in its place, God will pour out His abundance, His favor, and His power. Everything that was taken, your joy, your peace, your confidence, and even your dreams will be restored, not just twofold, but threefold, even sevenfold. God's restoration is never small. He does not just repair, He rebuilds, expands, and blessed beyond measure. The love, joy, and blessings that are coming will overshadow every painful moment you endured. The suffering you faced was not the end of your story. It was the foundation for a greater testimony. What the enemy meant for evil, God is turning for your good. This is not just a promise, it is your divine inheritance. Your season of restoration has begun. Now is the time for you to rise. You are stepping into a new season, a season of healing, restoration, and divine favor. The enemy fought you hard, but he couldn't break you. Every battle only made you stronger. Now, your scars will become your testimony. Your tears will turn into joy. Your trials will transform into triumph. And best of all, the very people who doubted you will watch as God blesses you openly. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Psalm 23, verse 5. Your enemies will witness your victory. The people who thought you wouldn't make it will see you rise higher than they ever imagined. Because when God is for you, no one can stand against you. God chose you before you were even born. Every attack, every hardship, and every loss was not meant to break you. It was meant to prepare you. Now, you stand at the threshold of your divine breakthrough. Are you ready to walk in the power and authority God has given you? If so, declare it. I am chosen, I am victorious, and God is restoring everything I have lost. If this message has spoken to you, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe and share it, encourage others, and walk boldly in the destiny God has prepared for you. May God bless you abundantly as you step into your divine purpose. Your best days are ahead. Walking a spiritual path is never easy, especially when you are among the chosen ones. Many people on this journey find themselves alone, disconnected from the world, and struggling financially. Society often measures success by material wealth and social connections, but for chosen ones, the road to true fulfillment is different. Being set apart from the majority is not a coincidence. It is a divine calling, a purpose greater than oneself. Yet this journey is filled with challenges, including solitude, financial hardships, and misunderstandings from those who do not comprehend your energy. These obstacles, however, are not meant to break you. They are designed to shape you into the person you were always meant to be. If this message resonates with you, support our community by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. We will uncover why chosen ones often face loneliness and financial struggles, and how these challenges can be turned into strengths that empower you. You are not alone. Embrace your journey with faith and strength. Solitude is an inevitable part of the journey for chosen ones. Walking a path of higher consciousness and spiritual awakening often means feeling disconnected from the world and misunderstood by those around you. While the human heart naturally longs for deep, meaningful relationships, chosen ones frequently find themselves in isolation, not by choice, but by design. This solitude is not a punishment. Rather, it is a necessary part of your transformation. It allows you to evolve into the person you were destined to become. One of the most significant reasons for this isolation is the energy barrier that exists between chosen ones and the rest of the world. You carry within you a radiant light, a spiritual frequency that is higher than most people's. This energy naturally attracts and repels others at the same time. Those who are open to growth and truth are drawn to your presence, feeling uplifted and inspired. However, many individuals who live in fear, doubt, or superficiality feel deeply uncomfortable around you, often without understanding why. Your energy acts as a mirror, revealing truths that they may not be ready to face. Instead of embracing this clarity, they instinctively pull away, distancing themselves from you in an attempt to remain in their comfort zones. Imagine someone who has lived in a dimly lit room for years. The low light has become familiar and comfortable to them, even though it limits what they can see. Then suddenly you enter the room carrying a bright lantern. In an instant, the entire space is illuminated, revealing not only the beauty of the surroundings, but also the dust, clutter, and imperfections that had been hidden in the shadows. For some, this newfound clarity is a blessing. They welcome the light, appreciating the ability to see what was once hidden. But for many others, the sudden exposure is overwhelming. They would rather return to the familiar dimness than face what has been revealed. This is what happens in your relationships. Your presence, your energy, your very existence brings to light the truths that others have been avoiding, often leading them to unconsciously withdraw from you. Another major factor contributing to your solitude is the imbalance in relationships. As a chosen one, you are a natural giver. Your presence is healing, your words are uplifting, and your energy is comforting. People are drawn to you, not just because of who you are, but because of how they feel in your presence. You may find that people open up to you easily, seeking your advice, your wisdom, or simply your energy to recharge themselves. While this can be fulfilling in some ways, it often leads to an unhealthy dynamic where you are constantly giving while others are only taking. Many people unconsciously use your energy as a source of emotional and spiritual nourishment without realizing that they are depleting you. They are drawn to your light, but they are unable to give back in the same way. Over time, this imbalance becomes exhausting, leaving you drained, unfulfilled, and emotionally depleted. You may notice that after spending time with certain individuals, you feel tired, anxious, or even empty. These people are not necessarily malicious. They may not even realize what they are doing. However, the result is the same. You become energetically exhausted, constantly pouring into others while receiving little to nothing in return. This pattern often leads to an unconscious distancing from such relationships. You begin to prefer solitude over connections that drain you. At first, this may feel like isolation, but over time, you will realize that it is a form of self-preservation. It is the recognition that you cannot continue giving endlessly without also receiving. If the people around you do not contribute to your well-being and instead leave you feeling depleted, it is far better to walk alone. This realization is a turning point. It marks the moment when you stop chasing relationships that do not serve your growth and start embracing the solitude that allows you to recharge, heal, and evolve. But solitude is not just about self-preservation. It is also a form of divine preparation. Being alone is not merely a phase that you will eventually move past. It is an essential period of growth and evolution. It is during these moments of solitude that you will undergo the most profound transformation. You will have the space and time to heal past wounds, to release old traumas that have been holding you back, and to reconnect with your true self. Without the noise and distractions of unbalanced relationships, you will find clarity about your purpose, your mission, and the next steps you need to take on your journey. Think of this period as a spiritual training ground. Just as a warrior must undergo rigorous preparation before battle, or a seed must remain buried before it can break through the soil and bloom, you too must go through this time of solitude to emerge stronger and more aligned with your destiny. This phase is not meant to break you. It is meant to mold you. It is refining you, sharpening your spirit, and preparing you for the incredible future that awaits. While loneliness may feel difficult in the moment, remember that it is not permanent. This solitude is not meant to isolate you forever, but rather to cleanse and prepare you for the relationships, opportunities, and spiritual breakthroughs that are yet to come. The people who are meant to be in your life, the ones who truly understand and appreciate your energy, will come when the time is right. They will be individuals who match your frequency, who uplift and support you rather than drain you. But in order to find these connections, you must first embrace the solitude that prepares you for them. Being alone is not a curse, it is a blessing in disguise. It is a sacred period of transformation, a time to strengthen your spirit, and a crucial step in becoming the person you were always meant to be. Instead of resisting it, embrace it. Let solitude be your teacher, your healer, and your guide. You are not alone in your loneliness. Every chosen one walks this path. And when the time is right, you will find that this journey has led you exactly where you were meant to be. For many, financial success is seen as a direct reflection of intelligence, hard work, and social status. Society equates wealth with power, influence, and security, shaping the belief that financial stability is the ultimate measure of success. However, chosen ones operate on a completely different level. Their lives are not driven by the pursuit of material wealth, but by a deep sense of purpose, meaning, and service to others. This fundamental difference in priorities often creates a disconnect between chosen ones and the traditional pathways to financial success, making their financial journey more challenging. Instead of chasing high-paying jobs or business ventures purely for profit, chosen ones tend to gravitate toward careers and vocations that align with their soul's mission. They are drawn to teaching, healing, artistic expression, and spiritual guidance, roles that contribute to the growth and well-being of others. These paths, while deeply fulfilling, do not always provide immediate financial rewards. Unlike conventional career paths, which prioritize financial gain, the work of a chosen one is often centered on service, personal evolution, and the betterment of humanity. This can create a tension between financial survival and staying true to their higher calling. Beyond their chosen fields, another challenge lies in the misalignment with traditional wealth-building methods. Money, like everything else in the universe, is energy. The way it flows into one's life is directly connected to their vibrational frequency. Conventional routes to financial success, such as corporate jobs, stock investments, or businesses focused solely on profit, may not resonate with the soul's energy of a chosen one. Many find that these methods feel empty, restrictive, or misaligned with their values, leading them to unconsciously resist them. This misalignment creates an internal block, making financial struggles seem persistent, even when chosen ones possess intelligence, talent, and dedication. It is not that they lack the ability to generate wealth, but rather that the conventional systems for accumulating wealth do not align with their spiritual purpose. They may even turn down lucrative opportunities that conflict with their values, choosing integrity over financial gain. While this decision reflects their commitment to authenticity, it can also result in periods of financial hardship, reinforcing the illusion that financial success is out of reach. However, financial abundance is not unattainable. It simply requires an alternative approach. Chosen ones are being called to create wealth in ways that honor their spiritual mission. Instead of focusing solely on accumulating money, they must find ways to generate financial abundance through value creation, service, and alignment with their divine purpose. This could mean developing spiritually aligned businesses, using creative gifts to inspire others, or creating meaningful content that uplifts humanity. When chosen ones learn to integrate financial prosperity with their higher calling, abundance naturally begins to flow into their lives. Many chosen ones also carry inherited financial limitations from their family lineage. Generational financial trauma, scarcity mindsets, and ancestral struggles with money can create subconscious beliefs that block the natural flow of abundance. These limiting beliefs, such as money is evil, wealth only comes through struggle, or I am not worthy of financial success, become deeply ingrained and influence financial outcomes, often without conscious awareness. Breaking free from these generational patterns requires deep healing. It involves identifying and releasing inherited beliefs, shifting perspectives on wealth, and cultivating a mindset of abundance. By doing this inner work, chosen ones can clear the energetic barriers that have kept them in financial struggle, allowing money to flow into their lives in a way that aligns with their spiritual path. Once these blocks are removed, financial opportunities begin to appear, often in unexpected and divine ways. Financial struggles also serve a higher purpose. They are a test of faith and trust in the universe. When you are called to a higher mission, there will be moments of uncertainty, times when resources seem scarce, and situations where financial security is not guaranteed. These challenges are not meant to break you. They are meant to strengthen your resilience and deepen your trust in the divine. Learning to surrender and trust that your needs will be met, even when circumstances suggest otherwise, is a powerful spiritual lesson. It shifts your focus from fear and scarcity to faith and abundance. True wealth is not just about money. It is about alignment with your soul's purpose, freedom to live authentically, and the ability to impact others in a meaningful way. When chosen ones fully embrace this perspective, financial struggles lose their power. Instead of being a source of stress, they become stepping stones toward a greater understanding of abundance and divine provision. In the end, financial hardship is not a sign of failure, but rather a process of refinement. It forces you to find innovative ways to thrive, to trust in your gifts, and to develop a deeper relationship with the universe's flow of abundance. When chosen ones learn to integrate their spiritual calling with financial prosperity, they discover that wealth is not about chasing money. It is about attracting the right opportunities, people, and circumstances that align with their true mission. And when that alignment happens, financial freedom becomes not only possible, but inevitable. Loneliness and financial hardship are two of the most difficult challenges a chosen one can face. It is easy to view these struggles as burdens, as signs of failure, or as obstacles that separate you from the life you desire. However, when seen through the lens of spiritual growth, these challenges are not meant to break you, but to mold you into a stronger, wiser, and more aligned version of yourself. Solitude is not isolation, it is preparation. Financial hardship is not punishment, it is a call to align with your true purpose. When you begin to embrace these experiences as tools for transformation, you unlock a power within yourself that can change not only your own life, but also the lives of those around you. One of the most important shifts you can make is learning to embrace solitude as a source of strength. Instead of seeing loneliness as something to escape, recognize it as a sacred space for self-discovery. This period of isolation allows you to strengthen your connection with the divine, deepen your understanding of your own soul, and develop inner resilience. Without the distractions of unhealthy relationships or social pressures, you are given the space to uncover who you truly are. Many of the greatest spiritual leaders, thinkers, and creators in history have spent significant time in solitude. It is during these quiet moments that inspiration arises, personal healing takes place, and new visions for the future are born. Solitude is also an opportunity to cultivate new skills, explore creative talents, and discover passions that may have been buried beneath the noise of everyday life. Whether it is writing, painting, learning a new craft, or developing a deeper spiritual practice, this time alone can become the foundation for personal and professional growth. As you refine your gifts, you will naturally attract the right people and opportunities into your life, people who align with your energy and appreciate the depth of your soul. This is why chosen ones often find that, after a period of solitude, they step into relationships and communities that are far more meaningful and fulfilling than those they left behind. You are learning to value quality over quantity, to seek genuine connection rather than superficial validation, and to trust that the universe is guiding you toward relationships that truly nourish your soul. Beyond solitude, another essential transformation is redefining what wealth truly means to you. In a world that equates success with financial status, it is easy to feel like you are failing if you are struggling to make ends meet. However, true wealth is not just about money, it is about freedom, purpose, and impact. Instead of focusing solely on financial survival, shift your perspective toward creating value in ways that feel authentic and fulfilling. When you align your natural talents with service to others, financial abundance begins to follow naturally. Think about the unique gifts you possess, the knowledge, creativity, and insight that set you apart. How can you use these gifts to uplift, teach, inspire, or heal others? Whether through teaching, coaching, writing, art, or any other form of expression, your path to financial abundance lies in your ability to serve with integrity and passion. When you pour yourself into work that is aligned with your soul's purpose, money stops being something you chase and becomes something that flows to you effortlessly. The more you focus on contribution rather than mere survival, the more opportunities will present themselves, often in ways you never expected. At the heart of this transformation is trust. Trusting the journey, even when you do not fully understand it, is one of the most powerful things you can do as a chosen one. Every challenge you face is a step toward becoming the person you are meant to be. Your solitude is preparing you for true connections. Your financial struggles are shaping you into someone who understands resilience, creativity, and the deeper meaning of abundance. Your purpose will lead you to prosperity in ways that go beyond what you can currently see. The universe is not working against you. It is aligning everything in your life for a greater purpose. Even the struggles you face today are part of a larger plan that is leading you towards something extraordinary. The moment you surrender to this truth, everything changes. You stop resisting your journey and start embracing it. You recognize that you are not alone, that your hardships are temporary, and that you are being guided toward a future filled with meaning, fulfillment, and abundance. So instead of fearing solitude, welcome it. Instead of resenting financial struggles, learn from them. Instead of doubting your journey, trust it. You are not just surviving these challenges, you are being shaped by them, strengthened by them, and prepared for something far greater than you can imagine. Being a chosen one is not an easy path, but it is a meaningful one. The loneliness and financial hardships are not punishments, but divine preparations. You are being shaped for a life of impact, authenticity, and purpose. The world needs your light, your wisdom, and your presence. Embrace your journey. Every challenge is refining you. Every struggle is teaching you, and in time, you will step into the fullness of your purpose, stronger, wiser, and ready to shine. If this message resonates with you, share your thoughts, connect with others on this path, and remember, you are not alone. They expected an angel soft-spoken, endlessly forgiving, gentle to a fault. They thought an earth angel would be all warm smiles, an ever-patient presence, someone who would never raise their voice, let alone stand their ground. But here's the twist they never saw coming. The most terrifying force in the world isn't wrath. It's a heart that loves fiercely and sees everything. People mistake earth angels for being weak because they choose kindness. They assume patience means passivity and empathy means naivety. But they are dangerously wrong, because when an earth angel decides to reveal the full strength of their spirit, they can be more terrifying than any devil. Why? Because there is nothing more unsettling than someone who is gentle by choice, not because they are weak, but because they are strong enough to show mercy. Studies even suggest that individuals who possess deep empathy and intuition can be deeply unsettling to those who thrive on manipulation and control. So when an earth angel finally lets their light expose what lurks in the shadows, even the most hardened deceivers will find themselves shaken. If there's one truth in this world, it's this: never underestimate the one who can smile through chaos and still walk away without a single tear. And to those who think they can push an earth angel to their breaking point, they might just discover the hard way that playing with fire has consequences. People often mistake kindness for weakness, assuming that a person with a compassionate heart will endlessly tolerate disrespect. They believe that those who lead with love must also lack the strength to stand firm. But this is where they make their first and most fatal miscalculation. An earth angel's kindness is not an invitation to be walked over. It is a deliberate choice, a conscious decision built upon an unshakable foundation of self-respect and boundaries that cannot be crossed. Many fail to see it at first. They are drawn in by the warmth, lulled into a false sense of control, believing they can take and take without consequence. They assume that the same heart that forgives will also forget, that the same soul that gives freely will continue to do so even when it is taken for granted. But then, without warning, they run into something they never expected: a firm, immovable wall standing between them and the person they thought they could manipulate. This moment is always a shock. They try to push a little further, to test the waters, to see if they can inch past the limits that have been set. But each attempt is met with the same unwavering response, no. And it is not shouted, it is not filled with anger, it is spoken with the quiet strength of someone who knows their worth and has no intention of compromising it. The realization is unsettling for those who have always equated kindness with compliance, who believed they could charm, guilt, or pressure their way through. They begin to understand, too late, that the heart they assumed was soft is anything but. It is a heart of fierce love, but it is also guarded by a strength they cannot break. And perhaps the most disarming part? The earth angel does not raise their voice. They do not engage in petty conflicts. They do not explain or justify. They simply stand firm, and that silent certainty leaves others speechless. People expect kindness to be an open door, one that can be entered at will. But an earth angel's love does not operate that way. It is freely given, yes, but only to those who respect it. The moment someone shows that they cannot honor that love, they lose access to it. No second chances, no drawn-out arguments, just a quiet, resolute decision to shut the door and walk away. And that is more terrifying than anything they ever expected. An earth angel possesses a rare and unsettling gift, the ability to see through illusions, cutting through deception with a clarity that few can comprehend. People often enter their presence with masks, carefully crafted facades, and well-rehearsed words, believing they can manipulate, charm, or deceive. But little do they know, nothing escapes the piercing intuition of an earth angel. They don't just listen to words, they feel energy, observe patterns, and recognize the subtle inconsistencies that others overlook. Those who thrive on deceit are used to slipping by unnoticed, controlling narratives, and playing mind games to maintain their advantage. But when they encounter an earth angel, they suddenly find themselves completely exposed. It's as if they are standing under a relentless spotlight, one that reveals everything they wanted to keep hidden. What makes this even more unsettling is that the earth angel doesn't need to call them out. They don't need to say a word. Their mere presence is enough to unnerve, to rattle the foundations of the lies others have built. The deceiver may become defensive, restless, even hostile, sensing, without understanding why, that their usual tactics aren't working. They realize, perhaps for the first time, that they are not the one in control. The earth angel sees them for who they truly are, not who they pretend to be. And that truth, silent, unspoken, and undeniable, is more terrifying than any confrontation could ever be. Because how do you hide from someone who sees right through you? The answer is simple: you can't. An earth angel never begs for respect. They command it effortlessly. It isn't through force, arrogance, or loud declarations, but through the quiet power of their presence. Unlike those who constantly seek approval, bending over backward to be liked, an earth angel moves through the world with unshakable self-assurance. They do not need validation, nor do they chase acceptance. They know their worth, and that certainty radiates from them in a way that cannot be ignored. This kind of energy unsettles people, especially those who are used to controlling others by dangling approval like a prize. They are accustomed to people seeking their attention, adjusting their behavior to win favor. But when they meet an earth angel, they find someone who simply does not need them. Someone who exists wholly in their own power, unaffected by the games others play. They might try to dismiss them at first, pretending they don't notice. But something about the earth angel lingers in their mind, refusing to be forgotten. What truly unnerves them is that the earth angel is not competing, proving, or posturing. They are simply being. And yet, their presence shifts the energy in a room. Their silent confidence forces others to take notice, even if they don't understand why. For those who rely on manipulation, this is deeply frustrating. How do you control someone who is already whole? The answer is simple: you can't. and that realization shakes them to their core. People assume that an earth angel is simply an observer, a gentle soul who watches the world with quiet acceptance. They could not be more mistaken. An earth angel is not just a presence of peace. They are a guardian, a protector of truth and justice. And when faced with darkness, they do not hesitate to take a stand. Their kindness is not passivity, and their patience is not surrender. Beneath their soft exterior lies an unshakable core, a force that refuses to bend, waver, or compromise. Most people are used to dealing with those who can be swayed, those who fear confrontation and choose silence over conflict. But an earth angel is different. They do not look away from what is wrong. They do not ignore injustice, nor do they pretend not to see it just to keep the peace. When something threatens what is right, they rise, not with anger, not with recklessness, but with an unyielding resolve that cannot be broken. This is what catches people off guard. They expected submission, not strength. They assumed kindness meant compliance, not conviction. And the most unsettling part, the earth angel does not need to raise their voice or make grand declarations. Their mere presence in the face of wrongdoing is enough to send a message, a warning to those who seek to manipulate, deceive, or oppress. Because when an earth angel stands firm, no force, no pressure, no threat can make them move. They are not fighting for power, status, or ego. They fight for truth, for justice, for what is right. And that makes them unstoppable. In a world consumed by chaos, where people stir drama to manipulate and control, an earth angel wields a power that is both disarming and undefeatable, unshakable inner peace. This peace is not fragile or conditional. It is not dependent on circumstances or the behavior of others. It is a fortress, a deep-rooted calm that cannot be rattled, no matter how loud the noise around them becomes. For those who thrive on creating conflict, this is deeply unsettling. They rely on stirring emotions, provoking reactions, and keeping others off balance to maintain control. But when they attempt to shake an earth angel, nothing happens. No anger, no panic, no desperate attempts to engage in their games. Instead, they are met with a steady, unwavering presence, and that realization that their chaos has no power here is terrifying. They push, they provoke, they try to create waves, but all their efforts crash against the unbreakable wall of the earth angel's tranquility. They find themselves disarmed, their usual tactics useless. It is in this quiet refusal to engage that the earth angel reveals just how powerful they truly are. Because control is only effective if someone allows themselves to be controlled, and an earth angel, they answer only to their own soul. This silent strength leaves manipulators scrambling, frustrated by their inability to disturb the earth angel's balance. Because what do you do when someone simply refuses to be shaken? The answer is simple. You realize, too late, that they were always beyond your reach. People often believe that if they push hard enough, apply enough pressure, or manipulate just the right way, an earth angel will eventually crumble. But they are wrong. What they fail to understand is that an earth angel's gentleness is not a sign of weakness. It is a choice, one made from a place of strength so deep that no storm can shake it. Beneath their quiet exterior lies a spirit forged in resilience, a core of steel hidden beneath compassion. When people try to test an earth angel, expecting them to fold under difficulty, they are instead met with something unexpected, an unyielding presence that does not falter. No matter how much weight is placed upon them, no matter how many trials they endure, they remain standing. They do not break, they do not give in. Their strength is not loud or boastful, but it is unshakable, undeniable, and deeply unsettling to those who believed they could control them. What confuses and frustrates those who try to push an earth angel to the edge is that their tactics simply do not work. The more they try to weaken them, the more the earth angel proves that their power comes from within, not from circumstances, not from approval, and certainly not from fear. And that realization is terrifying, because how do you defeat someone who refuses to be broken? You don't. You simply watch in awe as they rise, time and time again, stronger than before. An earth angel does not speak to impress, manipulate, or gain favor. They speak to reveal truth. And that truth, pure and unwavering, has the power to burn away deception like fire consuming dry leaves. For those who live behind carefully constructed lies, encountering an earth angel is a deeply unsettling experience. They are used to deceiving others with half-truths, evading accountability, and controlling narratives to suit their needs. But when they stand before someone who sees through every illusion, they find themselves exposed in ways they never anticipated. What makes this even more terrifying is that the earth angel does not need to argue, accuse, or prove anything. They simply state what is real, and the truth speaks for itself. Their words cut through deception effortlessly, leaving no room for excuses or manipulation. Those who thrive on falsehoods may try to dismiss them, but deep down, they feel the weight of the truth pressing against them, forcing them to confront what they've tried so hard to hide. And here's the part they never expected. The earth angel does not wield truth as a weapon. It is simply who they are. They don't expose deception out of malice or revenge, but because they refuse to live in anything but authenticity. And for those who rely on shadows to survive, standing before such pure honesty is not just unsettling, it is terrifying. Because the one thing a lie can never survive is a soul that refuses to be deceived. The greatest power an earth angel possesses is the ability to walk away completely, without hesitation and without looking back. This is something most people cannot comprehend. They expect attachment, emotional dependence, or at least a lingering hesitation. But when an earth angel decides that something no longer serves their higher purpose, they leave with absolute certainty. There is no anger, no bitterness, no need for revenge, just a quiet, resolute understanding that their path no longer includes what they are leaving behind. This is what terrifies those who believed they had control. They expected the earth angel to hold on, to keep giving chances, to be afraid of loss. But the truth is, an earth angel's loyalty is not unconditional, it is sacred, and it must be earned. When someone repeatedly disrespects their love, trust, or kindness, there comes a moment when the earth angel chooses themselves instead. And when that moment arrives, there is no convincing them to stay. For those who thrive on manipulation, this is a devastating realization. They thought they had power over the earth angel's emotions, that they could push limits without consequence. But now they stand watching, powerless, as the one they took for granted walks away, not in anger, not in pain, but in peace. And that is what unsettles them the most. Because when an earth angel is done, they are done. No second chances, no regrets, just a quiet departure that serves as the ultimate proof of their strength. And once they leave, nothing in this world can bring them back. An earth angel is a force of nature, unshakable, untouchable, unstoppable. Their kindness is not weakness, their patience is not submission. They love deeply, but they do not tolerate disrespect. They forgive, but they do not forget. They walk away, not out of fear, but because they know their worth. And that is what makes them terrifying to those who seek control. If this resonates with you, then you are an earth angel. And now it is time to embrace that truth. Subscribe now, join this movement, and let's rise together, because this is only the beginning.